Ladies and gentlemen, for me it's a big pleasure to be here. It's very important. I would like to thank David Ferguson and Mario as well to invite me here and to be here to speak to you. And you know that we are experiencing very difficult times today concerning Ukraine, Russian relationship, Europe, United States. All these kind of things we are bothering very much, especially in business sphere. And just wanted to say, just coming back and just to look into the history. It was in 1709, after the bloody battle between Swedes and Russians, a lot of victims, and after that, who were the first messengers and ambassadors? The best ambassadors, they were merchants from both sides, from side of Russia, from side of Sweden. Immediately after 1 month later, merchants came and they settled not far away from Stockholm. There were Russians, and Swedes, they settled not far away from Moscow, and they were the best negotiator. Not ambassadors, but merchants, they were the best negotiators in this way, and the relationships, they've been restored in a just very short time. So that's why I would like to be here and just to bring a message from Russian business that we would like to pass these very tough days very smoothly and to find the ways how to cooperate, how to trade, how to find the ways to make this world better and prosper. Just let me, I have a speech for you, and just let me speak on the topic of BRICS. And launched as a geopolitical project of the 4 countries elite, BRICS has already generated its own economic and social agenda and became an innovative factor in modern international relations. Intra-BRICS cooperation is determined by common economic challenges and mutual interest in political and social spheres. Thanks to industrial, financial, demographic, and political capacities of the BRICS countries, their long-term economic growth scenarios. The importance of BRICS is going to increase significantly in the forthcoming decade. BRICS countries make up approximately 25% of the global gross domestic product based on purchasing power parity. By 2020, total GDP of China, India, and Brazil is expected to exceed the figure for the United States, Canada, Germany, France, the United Kingdom, and Italy combined. By 2050, it is expected to amount up to 40% of the world GDP. Russia regards BRICS as a key long-term vector of its foreign policy and potential key element of a new global governance system, primarily in economic and financial areas. Since the first BRIC meetings were initiated by Russia, Russia may be proud of this initiative. Cooperation within BRICS is defined by several factors, including common interest in reforming the international financial system, support of international law principles, shared challenges, complementary of many sectors of their economies. The BRICS agenda already includes a broad range of policy areas, such as traditional spheres of cooperation and coordination, economy, finance, and international security, as well as healthcare, agriculture, education, and other areas related to improving social well-being and accumulating human capital. These issues are of particular importance for successful development of emerging economies. BRICS countries have a common understanding of fundamental issues concerning ineffectiveness of the existing international monetary and financial system. This facilitates the long-term intra-BRICS cooperation aimed at ensuring strong, sustainable, and balanced global growth, completing the reform of international financial institutions, effectively regulating trans-border capital flows, strengthening the local currencies. Being a forum of multi-vector cooperation, BRICS retains its focus on trade and economic relations between the participating states. Despite the positive long-term growth scenarios, GDP growth in 2013 compared to 2011 is expected to slow down by 1.4 percentage points. In South Africa to 2.1%, 1.5 percentage points in China to 7.7, 3.1 percentage points in India and Russia to 4.3% and 1.2% respectively, and remain the same in Brazil to 2.7%. Russia focuses attention on several specific issues in this area, including the promotion of multilateral trade and investments as a major driver of economic growth, cooperation on tender policies, collaboration in the sphere of statistics to increase transparency, interaction between national stock exchanges and rating agencies. Over the last 10 years, foreign trade turnover in goods and services has increased almost threefold for South Africa, fivefold for Brazil and Russia, tenfold for China and India. However, intra-BRICS trade remains below its potential, and the intensity of foreign direct investment is unequal within BRICS. Moreover, countries' FDI into other BRICS remain resource-oriented, as reported by Brazil's Institute for Applied Economic Research. More intense trade and investment ties within BRICS are expected to create a synergetic effect for growth, thus strengthening the positions of countries in the global economy and contributing to resolving domestic economic and social problems. The industrial development is a key to accelerate economic development. It provides jobs and makes it possible to change the structure of the economy and labor force rapidly, raise the living standards, increase production and export of products with high added value, engage in the international division of labor with the greatest benefit, acquire managerial experience relevant to the national market. Cooperation in the interest of technological renewal and industrial development of the BRICS countries implies collaboration in raising the technological level of traditional industries through technology transfers, creating and developing of new high-tech industries, enhancing industrial cooperation, developing of production chains in the BRICS countries. This is expected to enhance the countries' export capacities in the areas of their specialization. For Russia, this includes aviation, energy, engineering, metallurgy, machine tool industry, radio and electronic industry, transport and special engineering. For example, Russia is an important exporter of titanium products for Brazilian aircraft production company Embraer. Another objective for Russia's participation in intra-BRICS cooperation is to promote dynamic, stable and balanced transportation systems essential for economic growth. This is the interest of all members. Development and modernization of the transportation sector stimulate socio-economic development and improve the living standards. At the same time, it is crucial for both development of international trade and formation of global production chains. Russian railways and South African Transnet are discussing Russia's participation in building railways and producing locomotives in South Africa. In March 2013, the helicopter repair and maintenance center was opened in Johannesburg as part of modern after-sale service in South Africa, service of Mi-8-17 helicopters, which is being created by Russian and South African companies. It is important to ensure energy security in the BRICS economies as well. The limited amount of conventional energy resources forces to enhance the BRICS countries to unite their efforts in developing renewable sources of energy and energy-saving technologies. Russia is particularly interested in the type of cooperation as a way to diversify export energy markets and structure. Russian open joint stock company Power Machines provides equipment for Brazilian hydroelectric stations and agreed with Brazil partners to launch production of electric equipment in Caçador this year. At the same time, cooperation on traditional energy sources retains its relevance. Indian Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, Videsh Limited, is one of the key investors in major oil and gas exploration project Sakhalin-1. It is planning to invest $1.2 billion by the end of this year. However, sustainable and balanced economic growth can only be achieved by development of human capital, by scientific and technological progress. BRICS countries have a high potential for further improvement in the above-mentioned areas, taking into account that Human Development Index is still defined as medium for China, India, and South Africa. The BRICS countries intend to expand cooperation in the field of innovation and technological exchange. There is a need to promote research in the areas of common priority for the BRICS members, such as aeronautics, space technology, high-speed vehicles, microelectronics and informational technology, nanotechnology, food security and sustainable agriculture, biotechnology and health medicine, fundamental research, search and mineral exploration, remote sensing, climate change, water resources and water treatment technology. Russian company Sistema, where I'm shareholder, joint stock financial corporation, is engaged in creating modern telecom and data service systems in India. Russian company Renova Group, together with South African partners, is creating a joint venture for producing solar panels in South Africa. Several Brazil companies and cities are using or planning to use Russian navigation satellite system GLONASS. Russian companies and institutes help to modernize the Brazilian rocket and space complex VLS-1. Taking into account that social well-being is an important precondition for economic growth, BRICS members and Russia in particular have defined several priorities in this area. BRICS consider cooperation in the area of education to be an important factor of developing the human capital, promoting academic and student exchanges between the member states, along with facilitation of mutual recognition and equivalence of educational diplomas and academic degrees within BRICS are main issues to be addressed in this field. Health security is another principal factor of human resource development. In 2011, total health expenditure, public and private, stood at 8.9% of gross domestic product. In Brazil, 8.5%, in South Africa, 6.2%, in Russia, 5%. 7.2, in China and India 3.9. That is below the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development average of 9.3% of GDP. The BRICS cooperation in this field is aimed to strengthening the national healthcare systems, upgrading medical equipment, implementing new technologies, developing effective mechanisms of cooperation at fighting infectious diseases and information exchange. Russian company BioCat is creating a biotechnological center in Brazil to produce oncologic pharmaceuticals. The BRICS countries have the largest agricultural capacity. They say they have significant potential for raising agricultural production and acting as a driving force of growth in the global agricultural markets. The issues of food security and access to food are essential for sustainable growth, healthy population, and human resource development. The 5 countries are in the process of creation of the BRICS Basis Agricultural Information Exchange System. They agreed to establish the BRICS Strategic Alliance for Agricultural Resource and Technology Cooperation. BRICS members recognize the importance of involving business in the work of economic, financial, and trade issues. They supported the creation of the BRICS Business Forum for the first time, held in 2011. Additionally, in 2013, the BRICS Business Council was established on the sideline of BRICS Summit. BRICS is currently working on the investment cooperation roadmap until 2020, which includes joint investment projects. Dear colleagues, to conclude, I want to emphasize that cooperation between the governments of BRICS countries should be enhanced at the business level. We need to cooperate in the framework of BRICS and with other countries to launch tangible economic projects which will bring benefit for our economies. I am sure that 2014 International Financial Forum is proper venue for such conversation, and I hope that our work will bring practical results for the BRICS. I would like to thank you for the time. It was a big pleasure once more to be here. I just came for one day, especially for this event, and I believe that our meetings will be beneficial and they will bring more peace in the world and more prosperity. Thank you so much.